Here is Julius Malema, leader of the Economic Freedom Party in South Africa. In July of this year, he tweeted this video of Louis Farrakhan promoting violence. You can also see from his bio that he claims to be a revolutionary and a radical.
There is no freedom without the shedding of blood. I'm sorry to have to say that. Nonviolence is not going to bring the land back to us. Our unity will keep us from having to fire a shot. But if we are not united, the only way we're going to get what belongs to us is to make up our minds either to live to get it or die trying to get it. And when you are willing and not afraid anymore to pay the price for freedom, don't let this white man tell you that violence is wrong. Every damn thing that he got it by being violent, killing people, raping and robbing and murdering. He's doing it as we speak, and then he has the nerve to come and tell us that violence and hatred won't get it. Don't buy that. He's worthy to be hated. Worthy. Because of the evil that he does.
Somebody replied to the tweet, saying that the Africans were breeding themselves into poverty, and the response was, "We are not doing it for poverty. You will understand why we do it later on." Africa Check. The organization often referenced by the media has a page titled, Claims About White Genocide in South Africa, Unsupported, in an attempt to indirectly deny the allegations. However, they could not disprove it. In a statement made by the security group which tracked criminal statistics in South Africa that said, the statistics are not kept by race, as race is not necessarily mentioned in the incident reports received from the stations. They also said that they did not believe every crime is being recorded, and that it could be problematic to use an estimate of all people living on farms depending on what data is used for murders and attacks. In fact, Africa Check created another article, stating that the tracking of farm murders in South Africa is nearly impossible. In short, the fact-checking group Africa Check is trying to dismiss the case, without evidence.
The land belongs to the people of South Africa. The land shall be occupied by the people of South Africa. Whether they kill us, whether they arrest us, whether they shoot us, we shall occupy the land. This is our land. We must die for it.
Honorable Gadi, Honorable Mhlongo, Honorable Shivambo, Honorable Matthias.
Deputy Speaker, can we raise a motion of no confidence on you? You get out of the chair, the Speaker goes back. You are degenerating the House. Every time you sit there, there must be something wrong with you.
Leave the House. Honorable Malema. We see honorable members using their heads to harm others.
Apartheid tore South Africa apart. Some say the white oppressors are now the persecuted. White farms are being robbed and farmers murdered.
Not only do they kill, but the way they kill. They torture you.
The government says they're crimes like any other, in a society where poverty breeds violence.
There is crime which is affecting everyone, whether black or white.
Their victims claim that behind the farm attacks is racial hatred, stirred up by politicians.
We've been murdered for some time now. They are going to take the land as well. And I think that's very hard to conclude that there's not a racist motive.
Shoot to kill.
This is hate. This is political hate.
You must say enough is enough. We are taking the future into our own hands.
Plaasmoeder is Afrikaans for farm murders. On a hillside in Limpopo province, a private landowner has planted more than 2,000 crosses. Each one represents an individual murdered in a farm attack since 1994. 75 more crosses were added last year, but that figure is controversial. The nation's biggest commercial farmers' union claims there were only 47 farm murders last year, the lowest number in nearly 20 years. AfriForum, an outspoken Afrikaner lobby group, says that figure is absurd.
It's certainly wrong. During the calendar year of 2017, there's been 84 farm murders that we could verify. And when we say we could verify, we mean we have a list and we have the names of the people actually who've been murdered. So to say that there's only been 47 is, I don't know if it's malicious or if it's negligence or if there's a problem with the process in collecting the data. There could be a variety of reasons why the number is wrong.
Whether farm murders last year numbered 47 or 75 or 84, they're dwarfed by the total number of people killed in one of the most violent societies on earth.
As you can see, murders are not the only important statistic. Attacks on farms are more than 4 times greater than the amount of murders. The mainstreamed media is not taking into account aggravated charges like attempted murder. Fortunately, the Australians have been involved with attempting to help South Africans leave the country, and ex-Israeli commandos are helping farmers learn self-defense techniques.
A South African farmer, a target for robberies that frequently end in murder. An average of 1 farmer killed a week for the past 22 years. 3 murdered in just this past weekend. The government doing little to help. The police progressively weaker and unable or unwilling to assist. Criminals preying on farmers like this one as easy, isolated targets. 6 of this man's family and friends have been killed in farm attacks. For his own safety, he doesn't want us to give his name or where we found him.
My family's been attacked. My father-in-law was killed in the farm, in the house where we're living now. There's lots of incidents here. 2 of my wife's close family. In total, I've lost about 6 people that I know. Good personal friends and family. Yes, it's hectic. It's not nice.
But there's a new man in town, and he's turning the tables on the bad guys. Idan Abelnik is an Israeli ex-Special Forces commando. At a secret, specially adapted location, an hour's drive from Johannesburg, he's brought considerable anti-terrorist skills, honed in Middle East conflicts, here to Africa. He's teaching farmers not just how to fight back, but how to turn the tables on their attackers.
I think because, you know, I've been Lebanon, I've been Hebron, Gaza, I've been conflict area in my life. I've done operation, many of them, many operation, and I'm familiar with that, what they're facing here. I realize they're not dealing with, with crime syndicate. They are dealing with the act. The act is a one-on-one terror act.
Here, deep in Africa, more than 9,000 kilometers from Jerusalem, an Israeli ex-Special Forces commando involved in a new fight to save the African farmer.
Despite all this evidence, the American media instantly jumped on Trump for his tweet, calling him racist and a supporter of white supremacy. Upon searching Google, one can find dozens of these articles right in the front page. Among them the Washington Post, the New York Times, USA Today, Wall Street Journal, CNN and many others.
There it was, a tweet from left field. I've asked Secretary of State Pompeo to closely study the South Africa land and farm seizures and expropriations and the large-scale killing of farmers. The tweet was apparently spurred by a story on the president's favorite channel.
President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, has begun, and you may have seen this in the press, seizing land from his own citizens without compensation because they are the wrong skin color.
It's true the South African government is in a fierce debate over politics ahead of next year's elections. Debate on whether to allow some white-owned farms to be seized and handed to black citizens, reparation for years of apartheid. AfriForum, an activist group that mainly represents white South Africans, has called for international intervention.
Millions of people in this country need your protection.
South Africa's president says the issue will be debated by the public and in parliament. But is large-scale killing of farmers underway? Not according to a study last year from a large South African farmers group, which found while violence in rural parts of the country remains high, attacks on farmers have actually been declining. Trump's tweet was based on false information, government officials quickly said, calling them hysterical comments. Still, the false notion of white South African farmers under genocidal fire is a popular trope with white supremacists, neo-Nazis, and conspiracy theorists, some of whom have plenty to like in President Trump. His brutal comments about some African countries, his attacks on protesting football players, and more, even as he insists he's no racist.
I am the least racist person you have ever interviewed. That I can tell you.
So to be clear, as far as we can find, the president has never before directly tweeted about any issues in Africa, and now that he has chosen to do so, he has forwarded a piece of fake news about the alleged plight of white people living